Sorry, didn't have my microphone on. Let me see if this is too noisy on my end. Looks good. Sounds good. Feels fine. All right. Pop out of studio mode here. Hey ya! You ready to hit the town, Snoof? Their first 2018 at 8:48 p.m. in Sladay's Obston right now. Y'all set to go? I don't know why I gave her a voice. I don't know why I gave her an accent. Yes! Of course, you're Druid. Alright, I'm gonna get things set up for you. Just suggest Blabadooba. Skabadooba Sheba. I might, you know what I might do? Because I almost guarantee that the, oh, I didn't change my info. Sorry. Holy shit. Oh, that instantly closes it. That's neat. Present. 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 Just hit X and read all. T-Rex skull, thanks. Right wing Pteranodon, I think I already have. Skull of a Pteranodon. Okay, so not all worthless. I was sort of dozing in front of the TV, and someone on the soap opera cried out, "Mom!" I leapt up yelling, "What's wrong?" I thought it was you. Ha! I must have been tired. Heart Mom. Thanks, Mom. No, don't throw away. Current design is... Shut up. Fuck you. Oh! Oh! Warning! Crazy deals! Crazy Red here. I'm bringing my fine furniture and insane bargains to your town at 6 p.m. on December 2nd. No sane individual has deals like me. One pick is all you need. All right. Thanks, Red. I think I already have a Patera right wing. I always say Patera, even though I know it's not proper. But, you know, like, stuff. Who is it from? Is it from Tom Nook? Ranch tea table. What else could you want? He says, foolishly. Is there actual junk in my house? I forget. I think they get freaked out whenever there's a cornucopia or like an axe or a tool or whatever in your world. They call it your junk and they tell you to put it away, even though it's like, none of this is junk. It's my stuff, Mom. Let me just put my axe in my basement then. So they don't fucking criticize me too goddamn much. Grab this, and this, and this. It's kind of sad having, like... I don't know what's sad. Oh, it's sad the raffle being gone. All the raffle tickets being just vanished from my little world. It's just sort of sad in its own way. This is such a nice stereo. I should complain less about things. What should go in that corner? Shh, can't sleep. Well, I'm streaming. I can't just stop talking or there won't be a stream anymore. It defeats the whole purpose of having a stream in the first place. It's a jukebox. Here's our boy, but we're not gonna talk to him. We're not gonna talk to him yet. Not gonna do it. Oh, what's this? Oh, whoa, what's this? It's a space heater. No, no, just drop it. Drop it! Drop it! Good. The leaves are changing now. It's December. It's gonna be snowy soon. Are you excited? Oh, look at this. Oh boy. Shit. I'd like to sell. Oh, I'd love to sell. Please let me sell to you. T-Rex skull. Ammonite. Amber. T-Rex skull. Some gyroids. Umbrella I already have another one of. And then these 2 shirts right here. I'll sell. You know me, Nook. I'll sell. I like this umbrella. Oh, it's classic. You know it. I would love it. Thank you. Thank you for giving it to me. Oh boy, we all see what's happening back here. Oh my fucking god. Just fuck. No. No. Okay, yeah, sure. Yes, give it to me right now. I'll sell it right back to you. No one cares. Fucking Christmas, everyone. Oh, fuck yes. Give it to me right now. Give it to me, baby. Give me this. Sell me this. I want it. Thank you. All right. Thanks for not dicking around this time. It's a shortcake shirt. I'll try it on. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, it's horrid. I love it. I'll buy it. You can't have this one back, Nook. 63,666 bells. I don't know why I do shit like that. I don't know why I find that shit funny. It's not. Oh, give me this tea table, baby. Yeah, I'd love it. Please give it to me. I can't wait. So let me sell you some things back real quick. Just take these things off my hands. The things that I want to give you. The things I want to give you are this yellow bar shirt. Terrible. Keeping the festive trees. Keeping the shortcake shirt. Glass top table. You know what? I don't want to get rid of that. So yeah, just this. Yeah. We'll sell. I'll sell. I'll sell. I'll sell right now. Take it from me. Oh, fucking. We gotta go back to the house. I hope you do. Later, nerd. Oh, my God. Fucking Nook. Wasting my goddamn time. As always. Talking my ear off when I have things to do. What kind of paper is this? I didn't even look. Cool paper? Oh. We all know how I feel about cool paper. Oh, boy. Okay. So, we need to make room. We need to make room in... This corner needs to be cleared. So let's just get this drum... We'll just put it right here for the time being. Whatever. Who even cares? Doesn't even matter. You wanna know why? Big festive tree. No, no, no. Don't you fuck me on this. Good. Thank you. Aggressively. Don't you fuck me on this game. We know we're putting with it. You know what's happening to the small one? It's going right up here. I can't fucking speak. I am too into this. Reel to reel, right over there. Festive tree, right in this corner. Look at that. Absolutely fucking perfect. Look at my perfect home. I dare the HRA to say goddamn diddly to me about this fucking house. This house is beautiful and everyone loves it. I dare anyone to criticize my house now. and say that it sucks ass, is a nightmare, that it should be destroyed or burned to the ground. I dare anybody. Can't put any more things up here. I think umbrellas count as not junk, but shirts might. So I'm just going to leave the shirts down here. I like the white ring shirt for a background. It's really nice. Oh, it's time to begin, everyone. I want to add an item. I want to add December tickets. Oh, boy. All right. Off to the place. The place that is space. What is the place? The place. What's the place called? The post office. Jesus. I cannot believe that took me that long to figure out. Check it out. Dug up 100 bells. Check it out, everybody. Look at how cool I am. Everybody thinks that I'm the coolest. They all want my autograph. They all say, Druid, we want your style. We want your grace. We love your funny face. I just want to sit for a moment in the joy that saying that brought me. Oh my god. That fucking just warmed the cockles of my heart to say. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh, my face. Oh. It's the bell. It's the bell. Do you hear it? It's like the people singing. If you hear them, then the French Revolution will last 2 more weeks. What the fuck am I saying? That's not even the right revolution. Les Miserables is about fucking the October Rebellion. Some kind of thing like that. The June Revolt. Some other rebellion with a month in its name. No, we don't have any more. No more letter. No more letter for Druid. Ooh. This is that 9 p.m. jam we all love. That 9 p.m. slow jam. You know what they say about 9 p.m. slow jams? Means it's time to. It means that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Closing time, everybody. We're not closing. The stream's not closing. We're not done yet, but you know. In terms of, you know, there being a closing time for other people, where would Tort be? Probably over here. I gotta tell him to fucking shove off. Bloop boop. Bum bum. Nope. 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 Oh. Just Jiminy Christmas. It's not a dang thing in sight. I'm looking for Tortimer. Because he was supposed to... Vesta! That was so refreshing. What in the... This is not my beautiful house! This is not my beautiful wife! Same as never was! Oh, go in your house and go to sleep, dear. I'm gonna have to look for Tortimer because I can't find him. And I'm worried because he's supposed to be next to the river talking about, oh, I want a bridge here. And it's like, yes, I want a bridge like down at the very bottom of the map. If you could do that for me, Tortimer. Fucking worthless politician. Fucking worthless politician. Cool commentary on Animal Crossing, Druid. Sick commentary. Let's go talk to Sable. Let's see what Sable's up to. Let's see if she'll regale us with any tales of her childhood. Oh, Druid, how nice to see you. That was a hell of a sound I just made. I'm yawning like the Dickens. Like a motherfucker. I don't know what it is about being, like, tired that makes me such a fucking weirdo on stream. Where I just say all this dumbass shit that people find, like, funny and that, like, I don't know why he talks like that, but that's how he talk. That's how he do. Everyone's embarrassed. Any goings on? Don't you wee me, Officer Copper. A flyer for Crazy Reds. I'm disappointed, but when duty calls, Copper answers. The good of the animals, and the good of the people. Fuck you, Booker. I'm leaving. Kind of leaves like a weird angle. Oh shit, that's not it. That's not the one. Did I meet the person who moved in? Who was it? Tiara, I did. Tiara was a rhinoceros. Oh, did you meet Tiara, Drama? Did you see Tiara yet? Cause she's V cute. She's like Tank but good. Or better if you like Tank. Tortimer might not be out and about right now. It's awful late for a man of his age. Yeah, I fucking went there. Dare anybody to say anything about it. Threw up my hand in a faux gang sign, like I'm tough or something. Oh, hey, look. A spot that shines. In the ground. No. What's no? Is it no you didn't meet or no you don't want to meet? I don't know. I feel like if you meet Tiara, you might find Tank less fun. Swap. Swap it up. All right, let's do some menu shit right while we're here. What do we got here? Let's this glass up table, ranch tea table, space heater. I really don't have any space or need for any of them. I actually got a, I checked into City Folk to show Colin my, City Folk character via text. And he, I got a letter from the, what's it called? I got a letter from the HRA saying, you got some rare things in your house. That's pretty neat. Extra points for you. And it was a pretty good score. So, pretty good design on my part, huh? Pretty good interior design from Druid, huh? We're going, now that we've got the Bell Rock, we're going straight to either Tiara or the museum. Probably Tiara, and then the museum. Wonder what happens if you donate bells to Blathers. Let's find out. I've never tried it. Let's find out. Let's see what happens. If he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't take monetary donations like this. Here's Tiara. Good evening. I didn't see you during the day today, did I? Were you so terribly busy that you didn't have time to come and see me for a moment, Lovey? You can't forget about me, you know, Lovey. You mustn't. Let's get right to the point. What can I do you for? Nothing. What a bore, lovely. I mean, that would be a really interesting turn of events. No, don't be sad, Aziz. No need to be sad. Hey, don't say that about Tiara. Tiara seems sweet. What were these trees dying? What the fuck? What the fuck, Richard? I don't believe you. I simply do not believe you. She's sweet and she dresses like a whore. What the fuck? Why you gotta judge her like that? We don't slut shame here. We don't slut shame in this chat. In this house, we do not slut shame. Animals or anyone. Let's donate 100 bells. Ah, who? Yes, unfortunately, this is not an item we are currently collecting. No, so sorry. Oh, okay. I thought he might, be like, oh, sorry, we don't need money. Or like, oh, we don't take money. It's the skull. Oh, hell yeah. Look at that Pteranodon. It's almost finished. It just needs the, Take my money, you avian bastard! Shut up and take my money! Yeah. It's the exact mood. Big mood. Them's the words that I know how to say with my face. I'm looking for... I want Tortimer to say some things to me about bridges so I could be like, no, further! No, further! So we can loop around to the bottom of the goddamn map and build a bridge there. Looking for fossil spots. Looking for love in all the wrong places. I don't remember where I planted all those apples. I planted 3 different apples, and then I don't think any of them grew. Oh, God. Yeah. How could I forget? That was a moment where I was like, what the fuck are you talking? A constitutional? And he was like, it means a walk, you troglodyte. And I was like, pardon me? That sounds right. Oh, Aurora. You can't do this to yourself, Aurora. Oh, Druid. Thanks for waking me up, baby. I know it's a little unusual, but I have this habit of sometimes falling asleep outside. As long as you don't feel judged about it, that's what matters. You know? That's the real shit. We don't judge animals who fall asleep outside. To do so would be mean, and I don't want to be mean on my stream. We're not all rich white people, Charlie. No shit. It's the truth. We're not. Most of us aren't, in fact. The vast majority of us aren't. Constitutional. Jesus. The sound the shovel makes when it hits the tree is so, like, weirdly accurate relative to the rest of the game. Try to carouse. No, he is. Or at least he was. When he was in, like, his family is rich. There's not any doubting about it. Like, Nick visited, I think Nick and Jake and Charlie all went to, and maybe Jack too, went to Charlie's, like, family's beach house. That's like the size of my actual house that they just have in addition to their regular Long Island house. They're loaded. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where you're getting this information from. I've not heard this information, and I feel like it would have made its way to me at this point. I might already have a tartan rug. It's a real nice rug. It's a regal wall. Let me see it. I think I already have one of those. That's a kitchen wall. Oh. Oh, that's an ugly-ass kitchen wall, though. Oh, that's an ugly kitchen wall. Get that out of here. Okay, I didn't know if you followed him on Twitter or something. I don't think he uses Twitter anymore, but he did at one point. Thank you. Do come again. I look forward to seeing you. You follow Nick? I don't think Nick uses his Twitter for anything. You don't want to? I don't think he says anything, to be honest. I don't think he tweets. At all. Like, for any reason. Maybe, like, once in a blue moon. Like, once every, like, 2.5 months he'll send a tweet. But it's not frequent. I want to mail a letter. I'm gonna send a letter. Who mails stuff at night? I guess Pete lives here? Bye, Pete. Bye, Pete. Bye. Alright, see you later. Oh! Trying to hide down here. If that were true, he'd have tweeted only half as often as he actually has. Boy. The joke, for those of you who don't, who have not listened to Menage a Cat and now can't, what's it called? Nick found an illegal gambling den at a barber shop, and so he's only done that once, but he has and so the joke being that he's only tweeted twice in his entire life. He goes into Victoria's Secret. Let's hope he doesn't do that very much anymore. I really wish he hadn't done that. That really is an unfortunate thing. That's part of the reason why I removed Menage a Cat from the internet. Is just like it's an unflattering podcast for all of us. I'd rather not have that following us for the rest of our lives. I don't think I'm gonna ever upload the rest of the episodes to YouTube. I can't imagine I wouldn't have. I can't imagine I wouldn't have them unlisted if I did. I might do that tonight. Just unlist all those so they can't be listened to easily anymore. You know, that's fair, but at the same time, like, I don't know. It doesn't deserve to be on the internet. I don't think it's representative of any of us or the best that any of us can do. And I really just don't think that... I think, honestly, I'm the only person who could really feasibly put that on a resume for any reason. And I just don't want to anymore. Because for, download what? The YouTube videos or the episodes? Because they shouldn't be available on any service anymore. Except on YouTube. But even then, it's only like episodes 1 through 9, I think. Like nothing from very deep in. There's even a Babby Druid in there. I would rather you didn't download them. Only because I just don't want that floating around. I don't feel any obligation to try and, like, keep a podcast that had 20 listeners at its absolute peak, like, on the internet, available for all time, and also, like, especially given that probably none of us are like, oh man, Menage a Cat, great episodes. Here's this episode that's super good and that features a really thorough opinion of something. Because none of them have that. I think only when there are guests on our show, when there were guests on the show, only then were there ever any good moments of, like, knowledgeable commentary. Almost always, it was just 4 people who had no idea what they were talking about, kind of giving half opinions. In between jokes that we'd all be embarrassed to acknowledge exist. So, such is life. I forget that the Gutai Pravda account has a bunch of old streams on it too, which probably need to just be unlisted as well or deleted. Because I don't think any of them are, like, as I recall, none of them are particularly, like, visually engaging or good. I guess that's sort of a topic I can get into as an individual on the internet. I just I don't feel any. I know that often it's sort of taken as this granted that you can like that you should leave everything you've ever put on the internet for all time, so anybody can get to it, and never be embarrassed of anything and all the rest of that. And if it really is a problem, then we'll deal with that or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't see any reason to try and like keep funding, because I had to pay to host Menage a Cat, and I'm still paying to host 4Names, even though I don't really want to. We're not going to go back to Menage a Cat, and we're not going to go back to 4Names. At the same time, like, I don't see any reason to try and like pay good money to keep those on the internet when they're not really that great, never garnered a big audience in the first place, and really are just more of a novelty for us to share amongst ourselves than like an actual show. Nick has mentioned to me recently that he wanted to do another podcast, and I was like, what do you want to do a podcast about? And it's like, I just want to do a podcast. And it's like, well, that's not a show. We're trying, we need to make a show. We're not trying to make, we're not, if you want to have a chance to rant to your friends about whatever, we can set up a weekly, like, night where we all get on Skype and complain about our lives and play video games. That's what we can do. But doing it for the entertainment of an audience is a whole different thing. And I don't think that it's worth, like, the cost, the effort, the time cost, the emotional cost, the energy cost to try and, like, produce a show when all we want to do is agree on things that are like, the dress, social media, things like that. If all we want to do is hang out and have a good time, we should make a D&D group. That should be the end goal, not trying to put together some kind of show to be produced for others. And I think that in that phrase, a D&D group, like, that truly is, more in the vein of what I think would really happen to a show like that. You say, oh, let's get an online D&D game together, and people kind of go, oh, because, there's memes created about how hard it is to get a group of 4 or 5 people to agree on a day, either each week or each month or any time, to do a D&D game. But that really is, I kind of feel like, now that I feel like I'm talking to just no one in particular, making essentially a, like, should I make a podcast out of this? And it essentially, like, depends on what the idea is, but the ideas are going to range from, do you have time to participate in, do you and all the people you're talking about doing it with have time to do a weekly D&D campaign for 4 hours? If the answer is no, don't do a podcast. Because if you can't afford the time for that, you're doing essentially the same thing, talking for 4 hours for 0 pay. So if that's what you're looking at, then you're not going to make it happen. If you're going to be the editor of this thing, are you willing to be the DM for a Dungeons and Dragons game 4 hours a week, every single week, plus prep time and planning and rule knowing and all the rest of that? because that's what being the producer of a podcast is like. If your podcast is more involved than let's all sit down and shoot the shit, then the question becomes, you know, are you willing to spend 20 hours a week being a part-time journalist for something that won't pay you for 6 months, 8 months, ever? If you aren't willing to put that time in, then don't do a podcast. Oh, that's fine. You've missed nothing. You have missed me talking about podcasts and podcasting and the ways in which it is like a the kind of thing that just isn't. It isn't what people think it is. No, I understood. I got what that meant. I got it. You don't gotta explain your potty humor to me. All right, then. I don't know if that's a troglodyte crocodile or a chocolate troglodyte, which I assume is a reference to the toilet again. Haha. Poop humor. Scat humor. Don't we all love that scatological humor? But yeah, I was just ranting about podcasts. That's it. That's all. You didn't miss anything. Oh god. It's all sea bass all the way down. Well, it'd be troglodyte, wouldn't it? Troglodyte. Might be an I instead of a Y. But either way, that's what it is. Because a troglodyte is some kind of like prehistoric human. Homo erectus or something like that. Gonna catch me a fish. Gonna catch me a fish. Got me a fish. Look at this fish. Troglodyte sounds like a racial slur that's not known. Yeah, it sounds like one of those old-timey slurs that no one really uses anymore, and like, it's pretty bad, but at the same time, since it's not really in use, it's sort of lost its bite. I'd give examples, but, you know, not a... I don't think that saying old-timey racial slurs on Twitch is a good use of my stream. I could open Discord again. I guess that would be a real issue. Let me do that, because Walrus might be messaging me through Discord. And I have Discord closed on account of the fucking frame skips that were happening earlier. Are classy. Yeah, I doubt that somehow, that old-timey racial slurs are classy. Oh boy. Oh jeez. I really don't want to respond the way I want to this thing Walrus sent me. Oh, Bukowski. Oh god, these are things. Walrus has sent me some things via Discord that I want to respond to, but I can't because he's not here, I don't think. And I can't just start typing out responses to Discord messages. here live on Twitch. Ugh. We got another half an hour until we're all done here. Up, up, up. Aww. Do I have a girlfriend? I really just want to give a really, like, shitty answer to this. But I'm just going to say no. And we're all just going to move on with our lives. Because I really don't want to get, like... I really don't want to know the actual number of how much... I was going to respond with, like, I've streamed with the number of hours of the last week. And then ask, what do you think? But I think that's a bit shitty. Also, I don't know the actual number, and I'm scared to find out. But no, I do not. Most days doesn't get to me. Yeah, it's not really any, like, it's a lot of things. Some of them, things I'm not going to discuss on Twitch. But for the most part, it's just like not having a job that pays me at present is, and trying to get Twitch to be a thing is, that pays me, more importantly, is tricky. I don't have the ability to just, like, afford any other bit of my attention to anything but this. So... it's one of those things that, like... technology gets advanced. I mean, I don't think that he was able to marry, like... why not what? Have a girlfriend with Twitch? Well, I mean... the main reason is that having a girlfriend would mean, like... I would need to have money for dinners and gifts and going out and movies and nice things and the time to afford to that person as well. More to the point. Have a girlfriend like the guy who's Hatsune Miku? Oh. Well. I mean, I don't even know if that guy ends at, like, I don't know. Okay. Here's my thing. I don't think the technology there is advanced enough that he was able to marry a fully, like, responsive and, like, intelligent hologram. Like, he didn't marry a Star Trek hologram. He married a fucking Vocaloid program. It's not, it's not like he got a hold of a sentient thing. He got a hold of a fucking, like, an anime girl that talks when you put words into a program. So I don't think that it's quite the same as, like, I don't really think the technology is really that advanced. Never. Huh. You know? Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, there's really nothing that's, like, particularly... I mean, you know, it's different. So throughout history, we've had people who can be voluntarily celibate, right? So there's nothing biologically necessary to keep you, like, Well, yeah, that's a bad thing for the Japanese population, obviously, and that's a whole other issue in and of itself. But that's both a cultural issue as well as like an issue regarding their like way in which they handle workforce stuff. Because a lot of people are avoiding getting in relationships and having children because of their jobs. They don't want to They don't want to not focus on their careers. So that's sort of a problem. That is, it's a separate but similar problem. A separate but related. But what I was gonna say was, you know, someone never having sex isn't like someone never having a wisdom tooth removed, or someone never having, I don't know, any other necessary part of your existence. Yeah, exactly. If they don't have time for hobbies or anything else, then they certainly don't have time for relationships, and they don't want to lose time and lose out on the competitive workforce by instead focusing on relationships. So Japanese need a meow. They need a siesta. They need to confer with Mexico on having a little siesta. But yeah, Japan's gonna become like reliant on immigrants in the next 20 years probably, as far as like keeping their workforce there, keeping their businesses open, and their country like profitable and competitive in a worldwide economy. But you know, who knows? The whole goddamn nation could be underwater before that happens at this fucking rate. Welcome to global geopolitics with Druid. Shit. Tacos, a bit of music, and bam, a mad nap. Yeah. Hell yeah. Can you imagine if, like... I don't know. I feel like that's an exaggeration. I don't know if it's one singular race, per se. I think that there's a vast ethnic majority in that country. Right. I think that there's a vast ethnic majority of Japanese people in the country, but they're gonna need to do something. It's gonna turn into that thing in there was a town in New Zealand, I think, that was like offering $60,000 in a house to anybody who would move there and work for the rest of their lives. Like, and it wasn't like you move here and you get the one-time payment. It's like you get your actual salary, you get your benefits and stuff that go with your job, but also you get this house and this money. Because, you know, if you're in charge of that place's government, it might be cheaper in the long run to pay someone a lump sum and give them an empty house to have them live there and contribute to taxes and everything over the course of many years, rather than just losing out on that person entirely. It would be more expensive to just not have people there in terms of like upkeep, tax costs, etc. So that might be something that happens, but genuinely, there's going to be I mean, we all need to do some improvements soon. There's going to be something that happens. Do you want my economic theories for the next, oh God, how long? 50 years, let's say? Because I can give you a whole list of things I think is going to happen in the next 50 years. And it is not a great list. So, let me think. How's it going to go down? So right now it's 2018. Obviously in 2 years, going to be a presidential election. But depending on how that goes, the projections are probably going to change to be either a little bit more generous or a little bit more cynical. Essentially, if a Republican president remains in power and a Republican Congress remains in power in some form or fashion, either in the Senate or in the House, there's going to be issues because, and I don't mean to make this sound like I'm anti-Republican. I might be, but generally Republicans are more small government, less regulation, that sort of thing, less trade interference, which means that there's a greater degree of income inequality that's been created and continued by Republicans enforcing their particular tax cuts, their corporate tax laws, that sort of thing. We'll try to be unbiased, but the fact of the matter is that you can base certain things. And, like, if a Democratic president comes into power, it doesn't necessarily fix everything. I should point that out right quick, that even if there's a Democratic president, and that's, I think, still not a given. A lot of people think it's a given that there's going to be a Democratic president in 2020. I do not think so. I think that it depends on the candidate, and I think it depends on getting a bunch of swing voters and conservative people who would vote Democrat into voting Democrat, which is a hard time to do. So that's one thing to deal with. The only and I should also say that if Democrats come into office, it does not necessarily mean that the GDP will go up and immediately be fixed or that global warming will go away. It'll just be a little bit further out before a few of these issues cause problems, because most Democrats, as far as the DNC is concerned, are still in some form influenced by big businesses, big corporations, political action committees and their money. So both groups have their issues, and what will be affected by those issues changes for either one. If the Republicans remain in power, then by 2035, we will have lost billions of dollars in GDP due to global warming. This is not a biased issue. This is not a partisan issue. It's a fact. Trump's own administration had dozens of people come together and put out a report on Black Friday that said that the goddamn nation is going to drown, freeze, or catch on fire if we don't fix this shit soon. So that's gonna happen. The fires are gonna get worse. The floods are gonna get worse. The hurricanes are gonna get worse. The seasons are gonna be longer. It's 70 degrees in December in Texas. It's fucking weird. It's going to cause more and more issues. In terms of overall economy, there's going to continue to be a lot of issues with income inequality and individual consumption and the divide between the poor and the rich. The real issue here that I foresee is, I think, and I just read a little report recently that showed that in Seattle, when the minimum wage was increased to $15, in the short term, all of the problems that had been, all but guaranteed by the people who were terrified, their stores are going to close, there's not going to be any workers, no one's going to work high-paying jobs because you can make more money as minimum wage workers. Well, none of it happened. None of the worst-case scenario stuff happened. What did happen was there are actually more restaurants open right now and more consumption overall in Seattle because the people who are at the lowest, people who have more things to spend money on, are spending more money. It just tracks. If a widespread minimum wage increase happened across America, I can foresee that we would stall out a potential recession in the next 20 years. Not 20. 20 is a long time. In the next 5 years, let's say, before 2025, we can stall a recession but not prevent one. I don't think there's going to be a recession like the last one. I think that just like this last recession, just like this last growth cycle was noticeably smaller than pretty much any previous one, There has been no recovery that's been slower than this one in terms of economic, busts and then trying to recover from that, despite the efforts of the government to bail out the businesses and to do whatever. I think that particular element is going to continue to rear its ugly head into the future, but I think that it'll also mean that the next recession will be less deep. I think if I had to just, now that I'm saying things out loud, one of the reasons I think that the last recession got so bad is consumption fell not just because people were concerned about their short-term gains, but because their nest egg totalitarianism is never the right idea, in my opinion, and I can explain why in a bit. That's not really what I'm getting on. I'm going on economic ideas. That's not the thing. So I think that people stopped consuming as much as they were before 07 because they didn't just lose their temporary savings. They didn't just lose, the value of their car and their house in the short term. They lost pension funds, they lost retirement savings, they lost everything. And so they had to rebuild that over the course of the next 10 years, where we currently are, in order to be able to consume more. And so I think that the next recession is going to be a less drastic one unless a big crisis happens. I can see some crises happening, but global warming, obviously. If New York has 6 inches of water over all of Manhattan, then the economy will tank immediately. People will get scared and they'll stop spending money. So that's its own thing. If student loan securitizations start having issues due to people not paying their loans back or whatever, then that might be its own issue of the securitizations going bad, and that would be a redo of the housing crisis, though the market's nowhere near as large for student loan asset-backed securities as it was for MBSs back in 07 and earlier. But regardless, it would be a big blow to the economy, and especially to the government, because they're the ones who are giving out a lot of these loans through FAFSA, through Fannie Mae, and other government-owned entities. In regards to your comment that democracy is like a good idea, I don't necessarily agree with the comment that democracy only works when you agree with it. Democracy works when either everybody is informed enough to be able to make voting decisions, or they are able to get information readily enough and correctly enough to get voting information. I think that America's democracy could be moved in a very good direction if there was less gerrymandering, meaning that people's votes weren't counted in a really skewed way, but just as each person's vote counts. And if there were more measures taken to ensure that people were able to get out to vote, more early voting, more absentee ballot voting. I'm a big fan of mandatory voting, as Australia's system has. I think that if there was a voting system that asked you not to choose one or the other, but had you rank your choices in a list of 1 to 8 or whatever, so you get rid of a two-party system. There's a lot of ways to improve democracy, essentially. And in that vein, there's a lot of options that other countries have taken that wouldn't really be that difficult to implement in America, but would be unpopular amongst politicians who don't want everybody to vote. People like George Kemp in Georgia, who very strongly made it clear that he did not want everyone to vote. He wanted only people who would vote for him to be able to vote, which is not how democracy works. And that, to me, is an issue that needs to be resolved, is that essentially we need to have everybody in America needs to agree that if you want America to be a democracy, you have to want everyone to be able to vote. No matter where they're from, no matter where they are, no matter when they registered, no matter what they know on the issues, they need to be able to vote. Because if they're not able to, then you can't have a real democracy of the people, for the people, by the people, etc. Because it's skewed in favor of people who spend more time thinking about it, have jobs that accommodate them. You know, if you know your polling place and it's nearby you and you can get away from your job for an hour and easily vote, that's one thing. If you are given 1 hour to vote by your employer and it takes you 20 minutes to get to the polling place and the line is 40 minutes long and you'll be fired if you don't get back on time, that's not an accommodation. That is another problem. Realistically, long voter lines, while a good sign of turnout, are a bad sign of a system that does not function properly. It should not take, for something to be described as a civic duty and then not be able to manage people actually doing their civic duty is ridiculous. In response to totalitarianism, I'm not in the way that, like, there's always an example, right? There was apparently a socialist utopia in Cameroon for a year and a half in 1921 or something. But that doesn't mean that communism can work. It doesn't mean that totalitarianism is a good idea. Totalitarianism works when you have a philosopher king. And there are ways to make that system behave. Hawaii, from what I understand, had a really solid monarchy in place before Liliuokalani was sort of strong-armed into signing over Hawaii to being an American territory. And that, to me, which, by the way, is brought about by Dole. So, that sort of thing, I think, is an example in the positive, but the problem comes down to, if you look at someone like Donald Trump, and I honestly can't imagine someone liking Donald Trump, but even if you do like Donald Trump, you can't honestly think that his children are worth having as president, right? If we had him as our king, if he anointed himself a monarch, just as a hypothetical, and anybody with significant popularity or military prowess could anoint themselves Caesar or king or whatever, then you would have situations where, you know, there'd be an exchange of power from one person who might be skilled enough to rule, like Julius Caesar, who was skilled enough to rule and was able to do a lot for Rome in a brief time before he was fucking murdered. But that leaves a power vacuum. So the transition to power is a difficult thing. And in a what am I trying to think? A genealogical monarchy, that's not the right word, but Awe, Huta Caesar. In a monarchy that is genetic, where your parents are the ones who give you the right to rule, and you derive your power through some alleged God-given gift to your family or lineage, that system can work in theory. Essentially, if you have a lot of kids and all of them have an equal chance at being in charge of the country, and they all are raised by the best teachers, the best tutors, the best support system in the country, then theoretically you could get a line of a good number of kings and queens and etc. who would have the ability to rule, the right to rule, the knowledge and experience and, care to rule. The difficulty comes in that, again, it's a transfer of power thing. You would eventually have somebody who would want to be king and who would be seen as the true heir to the throne, but who couldn't actually become king because that would be against the lineage or it wouldn't be the best choice. And rather than accepting that and having a peaceful transfer of power, which is critical to any government in the entire world, they would instead mount a rebellion or some such thing to the end that they would become the ruler in the stead of the person who was supposed to rule. And that's a fine idea if that means a better ruler comes into place. But often these systems don't benefit being able to have a transfer of power that suits a good, wise, knowledgeable person and seats them into power. Often it's kind of, in order to be able to gain that kind of power, you need to be cunning and backstabbing and dangerous and willing to do whatever it takes, which is not a good leader make. So that to me is the issue with a monarchy like that, or any totalitarian rule similar to that. It's always going to be who takes over after the first great king, you know? That's really the issue of any of those. And that's why I don't, you know, tick my box as being into it, is just that, like, even, and that's the thing, like, even if someone were to believe in someone like Donald Trump and say, like, he should lead America, he should be given all the strength of the military, you know, in a way we did. Even if you believe that he should have all that power to write any law, to enact any rule that he sees fit, and to put anyone in any position he likes, and to do anything to anybody in the world that he likes, the problem is that Donald Trump is nearly 80 years old. What happens when he dies? Who takes over? Is it Ivanka, who has not shown any desire to really be in charge of a country? Is it Barron? Is it Don Jr.? Is it Eric? Is it Tiffany of all people? Is it somebody? Is it Mike Pence? Or would he be too old at that point to rule? Is there a rule on who they have to demonstrate a certain devotion to the leader in some way? You know, someplace like North Korea has obviously a genealogical line of each new, you know, leader is the son of the previous. But the issue with that is that, you know, I don't honestly think that any of Donald Trump's children are all that popular amongst his supporters. I don't know that. So that's my issue there. We're doing KK. I'm going to send out the we're doing KK. And then, you know, I've sent it. I sent it out. We're doing KK. Hey, man, don't stand way over there. Why'd you come up to the front row? I don't know why I give him this voice. I need to know... Oh, that's not the button I wanted. Hopefully it didn't work. Oh, Jesus. I have it in this bookmark here. It's in Stream. It's in... here we go. Okay. Want me to jam for you? You know it! Cool. If there's something you want to hear, just tell me the name of the tune, and I'll jam. Yeah. I have a request. It is... Calf... How do I put this in? I don't know how to put this in. It needs the, Oh, that's a new leaf. Unique. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, we're not doing anything of that sort. Make him sing the Soviet Union. Oh, me not no quip. Me no me quip me now. Don't ask how I know the Soviet national anthem. Far out. Get ready to jam, man. KK Cafe KK style. Let me give you the air check for Cafe KK. The air check. It's the recording, man. The music. It's a pretty cool tune. You can dig it on the box back at your pad. Later. All right, let's pop this into the reel-to-reel upstairs. Doc's gonna be so proud of my my sweet setup. Pop in a tune. All right. Well, that's it. That's the stream. We're done. We're done here. My big giant house. Are you done already? Yes. I'm done. Suppose I ought to save your town data to the memory card in slot A. Fine. Hold on. Saving town data. Blah, 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 blah. hope we see you again soon. You won't see me till Monday. Don't call her that. There's no slut shaming in this chat. There's no slut shaming in this chat. It's disallowed. You know what you heard me before. There's no slut shaming in this chat. There's no room for that here. All right, this is the thing. This is the thing. Instagram, Twitter, Druid Streams. I'll be back on Monday. I'll probably have a similar schedule next week to this one, barring any particular. God, that's loud as fuck. Barring any anything coming up that I think is needing my attention. So I will see you all Monday. Thank you all for being here. I might do more Fracto SC next week. I don't know. I'd like to find a way to do it that doesn't set my computer on fire. I might try a couple different setups to see how I can get it to I might be able to get it to work a little more easily. I might turn off some of my monitors and have the stream on a different device entirely next to me on my left, on my music stand that I pulled out. Anyway, denied. Yeah, I denied it. I'm not gonna fucking let it on here. How's that for you? Anyway, have a good night and a pleasant morrow, and I hope you find what you're looking for. Always.